am Jenna Bosonko, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios along Kaiba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and international as well as sports news headlines. The third Turkey Africa Summit has wrapped up in Istanbul, with leaders adopting a joint declaration with parties expressing commitment to further strengthen and deepen the cooperation in the interest of the states and the people. Following recent reports of the Omicron COVID-19 variant, health officials have begun the first phase of a nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign from Banjul to Kalaji, which will last for a week. The country's only performing arts theatre, Abund Theatre, celebrated its 10th anniversary on Friday in an event held at the theatre grounds in Kanifing. In international news, December 20th is marked as the International Human Solidarity Day, commemorated to honor unity in diversity. And now on to some sports news. FIFA's Arab Cup final has ended with two North African teams contesting the final in Qatar. You're watching QTV News, and I am Jenna Bosonko. We apologize for that brief interruption. Now, the third Turkey Africa Summit has wrapped up in Istanbul, with leaders adopting a joint declaration with parties expressing commitment to further strengthen and deepen the cooperation in the interest of the states and the people. As Aliou Cisse reports, Turkey is gradually having more influence on the continent as it seeks to further strengthen relations with Africa.
Relations between Turkey and Africa have gained substantial momentum since the declaration of Turkey as a strategic partner of the continent by the African Union in January 2008. The relationship constitutes one of Turkey's key foreign policy objectives. The third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit held in Istanbul attracted African presidents, and President Adama Barrow of the Gambia was represented by his Vice President, Dr. Aïssatou Touré. The summit adopted a joint declaration in which parties expressed commitment to further strengthen and deepen the cooperation in the interest of the states and peoples. The declaration said parties will focus on three main issues: peace, security and justice, human-focused development, and strong and sustainable growth. For the Gambia, a tiny West African nation, over the years, cooperation has been established and support from Turkey received in vital sectors of the country's economy. The various agreements signed between the two countries, especially during President Barrow's visit to Ankara, amply demonstrate the high-level cooperation between the two countries. The goodwill, friendship and strong ties of cooperation between Turkey and the Gambia was further strengthened by the historic visit of Recep Tayyip Erdogan to the Gambia last year as part of a free African nation tour, including Algeria and Senegal. The Gambia was the 28th African country he visited as of January 2020, both as a Prime Minister and President, signaling the importance Turkey attaches to Africa. The Gambia government also gained support from Turkey to build the capacity of security forces by training 500 officers on peacekeeping. Turkey's instrumental role in supporting the Gambia to host the OIC summit and sharing the Turkish experience in hosting such a world event is also evident to the bilateral ties. Furthermore, the establishment of the Office of the Turkish Agency for International Development (TICA) in the Gambia will enhance an effective way of harnessing and strengthening the cooperation. Through Ankara-Banjul cooperation, via its commencement of the Banjul-Istanbul route with Turkish Airlines, was opening up new frontiers in business between the two countries. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the summit, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said, "We want to develop together and increase the welfare of our people together. Thus, we attach great importance to the Memorandum of Understanding." Felix Tshisekedi, the African Union President, who is also the President of Democratic Republic of Congo, and President Macky Sall of Senegal, said Turkey, a country showing solidarity with Africa in all aspects, has paved the way for a historic summit. They hailed Turkey's win-win approach towards Africa and endeavor for mutual prosperity. "We have ample water resources. We want Turkey's expertise to use this in our continent," said the African Union President. Vice President Dr. Aïssatou Touré said the Gambia called for togetherness for common interests, citing the huge potential in Africa with many countries emerging as global players. She said the Gambia is committed to consolidate and strengthen the relations between Banjul and Ankara. Turkey and African countries' bilateral trade rose to $23.8 billion in 2018 from $5.5 billion in 2003, while Turkey's export jumped by 579% to $14.4 billion in the same period. Turkey has presented itself as an alternative, benevolent brother to the European powers who once colonized the continent. However, some analysts say Turkey is a major power, mainly in humanitarian aid, but not in other realms, as it is a new actor that has made other bigger states occupying that space in Africa before it, such as China and France. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Aliou Cisse there on the third Turkey Africa Summit. Now, following recent reports of the Omicron COVID-19 variant emerging in the country, health officials have begun the first phase of a nationwide COVID-19 vaccination campaign from Banjul to Kalaji, which will last from the 18th to the 24th of December. Abibatu Cisse spoke to someone from the Ministry of Health and some members of the public about the issue. Here is her report.
Despite the availability of different coronavirus vaccines, reluctance to take the jab remains very high in the country. The Ministry of Health has expressed concerns over this vaccine hesitancy, which has resulted in the expiration of about 28,000 COVID-19 doses, with another 80,000 doses close to expiry. The ministry has now launched an expanded program on immunization for more people to be vaccinated without them having to go through too much trouble to do so. Jibril Gando Balde, Senior Health Communication Officer of the Ministry of Health, Promotion and Education, explains.
The main purpose of this exercise is to get the vaccine very close to the doorsteps of the people. That's why we're sending in people to go in, to knock into the households, into the compounds, and tell them that these teams will be coming on your street. So when they come, please go out and take your opportunity and get vaccinated. 14% of the targeted population of the Gambia is vaccinated. And the Minister of Health targets to vaccinate 60% of our population. We are appealing to everybody, go out during this period because it's from the 18th to the 24th.
At the busy Sarakunda market, people are going about their businesses with little or no signs of observance of COVID-19 safety guidelines. Jenaba Kanyi, a businesswoman, says she has taken the vaccine, trusts in its efficacy, and urges others to take the jab.
Amul fay yaram lu baax la ci nit so wéré rek am nga lepp so amul dara sa nga.
Health is priceless. Health is everything. I am appealing to those who have not yet taken the vaccine to do so, because I have taken it and I know it is very good.
One doesn't have to look far to find signs of vaccine hesitancy. Some people have been swayed by misconceptions rather than signs about the vaccine, causing them to worry about taking the vaccine. Fatoumata Cisse and Amidiba say they have not been vaccinated, revealing that they have had many negative stories about the vaccine.
I wanted to take the vaccine, but I ended up not taking it because of the negative stories that made me scared. Now I am only hoping on God for protection. I go for a medical checkup each month, mainly to check my sugar level. So I will ask my doctor, and if he advises me to take the vaccine, then I will.
However, Omar Senghor says he and his family have taken the vaccine because prevention is better than cure. He gives this advice to those who have not yet taken the vaccine.
Those of us who have taken the vaccine have not encountered any health complications. The vaccine is important because even we, the businessmen, cannot go to other countries without the vaccination card. So, I urge everyone to be vaccinated.
As the Ministry of Health commences the massive vaccination campaign across the country, they are urging those who have not received the vaccine to do so, to protect themselves, their families, and the wider community. For QTV News, I am Abibatu Cisse.
I am fully vaccinated, so go get your jab. Now, the country's only performing arts theatre, Abund Theatre, celebrated its 10th anniversary on Friday in an event held on the theatre grounds in Kanifing. Momodou Mboj attended the event and he fastened this report.
Since its opening on 17th of December 2011, Abund Theatre, with its striking 16-meter dome, has staged numerous plays and hosted diverse cultural shows. The evening kicked off with the cocktails on the rooftop, where guests, including many distinguished Gambians, socialized while sipping their drinks and eating appetizers. I took aside the chairman of the theatre's board of directors, Mr. Crispin Gray Johnson, former foreign secretary, to get his reflections on the occasion.
It's a great occasion. I think the first real theatre the Gambia has ever had, through the efforts of one individual.
Over the decade, Abund has been an edifying cultural presence, staging plays as diverse as Robert Bolt's A Man for All Seasons, Wole Soyinka's The Lion and the Jewel, and Shakespeare, of course, as well as the plays written by the theatre's founder and artistic director, the vastly experienced doyen of theatre, Janet Bajan Young. Fondly called Auntie Janet, she has created a theatre to not only stage plays, but also serve as an incubator for the next generation of performing artists. Under her tutelage, scores of aspiring actors and actresses have reached new levels of excellence and recognition. Jibu Saidi and Mariama Kole are among the longest-serving members of Abund, and in interviews expressed their appreciation.
I am one of the oldest actors here today. It's a good memory for me. It has brought me far. It has developed me, and it has shown me so much light.
I am so excited and happy and blessed and lucky to be part of the Abund Theatre.
The main cause, so to speak, of the celebration was the launch by Professor Per Gomez, acting Vice Chancellor of the University of the Gambia, of the publication in English and Wolof of the play Usman and Rohi, Usman ak Rohi by Auntie Janet. As if to whet the appetite so that we could rush out to buy the book, the theatre troupe performed a few scenes from the play. And among the performers on stage was the guest speaker, the multiple awarded Kenyan actor and journalist, once mentored by Janet Young in Kenya in the early 1970s on his first visit to the Gambia, John C.B. Okumu.
What you Gambians should be aware of is that we in Kenya consider Janet Bajan Young a national treasure, and I would urge you to do the same.
Abund is a portmanteau word meaning the gift of Janet. I interrupted her hosting for an interview on what the anniversary means to her.
Well, I'm just praying that I have more strength and energy so I could do more for Gambians, more for the youth of the Gambia. So I think, well, you know, at this age, I'm not telling you my age, but I've done it. I'm far gone, far gone. So I think it's just for the inspiration. I want the inspiration. I want to be able to really get drama going in the Gambia, because I believe it does so much for kids. And I'm very lucky because now I did a backway project with schools, and now I have another project on human rights also with the schools. And I think this for me would be what I think will blossom into something absolutely wonderful for Gambia.
In some societies, the traditional 10th anniversary gift is tin, symbolizing preservation and longevity. The will and drive that got Abund Theatre going for a decade perhaps shows a commitment and determination to go the distance, which bodes well for the theatre's 10th anniversary motto of
another 10 years.
For QTV News, I am Modu.
Congratulations to the entire team at Abund Theatre. Now we will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have some more local, international and sports news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
Q City New Year's Eve Gala. It's the time of the year again. Time to end it with a bang and in style. Join our annual New Year's Eve feast in a breathtaking environment with the amazing Keba Taylor Band and the exceptional Bud Hammer, the man with the golden voice. And to top it all, the jaw-dropping fireworks at midnight to celebrate the beginning of a rocking new year filled with all the happiness in the world. Celebrate and make New Year's resolutions with family and loved ones at Q City. Tickets are only $3,500 C for individual and $2,000 C for children 12 and under, and a 10% discount for every table of 10. Call 33-72489 or 33-00056 for more info. Q City New Year's Eve Gala. Cheers to the good life that awaits us all.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jennifer Sonko. Now, Child Protection Alliance, in partnership with Save the Children International, on Saturday organized its annual inter-school competition in commemoration of the Day of the African Child. The event provided a platform for students from 10 schools across the country to showcase their talents centered on children's rights and welfare. Momodu Lamin Choi has the rest of that.
It all started with a march past in commemoration of a significant event in the history of the continent, the Day of the African Child. It is commemorated to honor about 10,000 black school children in South Africa who, 45 years ago, marched more than half a mile protesting the poor quality of their education and demanding the right to be taught in their own language. The historic moment is known as the Soweto Uprising, which witnessed the shooting of the protesting children, leaving more than 100 dead and thousands injured. In 1991, the tragic incident prompted the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the then OAU to institute the Day of the African Child in memory of the 16th of June 1976 student uprising in Soweto, South Africa. The theme for this year is 30 years after the adoption of the Charter, accelerate implementation of Agenda 2040 for an Africa fit for children. Lamin Fati, the national coordinator of the Child Protection Alliance, sees the day as an opportunity for deep reflection on the state of the rights and welfare of children.
Africa fit for children, to me, is not only a mere statement. It's a statement of accountability. That human rights are nothing more, nothing less, other than holding someone to account. And when you come to issues of protecting the welfare and well-being of children, no other person has the primary responsibility as a primary duty bearer other than the state.
In paying tribute to the 11 children who lost their lives in a recent fire disaster at Bilal Boarding School, 1 minute silence and prayer was observed. While recognizing that government is striving to fulfilling its commitment to the welfare and rights of children, the CPA National Coordinator sees weaknesses in law enforcement for the protection of children's rights.
That every other day, every other week, you have seen the news headlines. It's either a child has been abused, or a child has gone missing, or a child has been subjected to all forms of exploitation in this country.
Umi Jedoba, from an organization called Voice of the Young, identifies challenges facing children, including child marriage and inadequate quality education.
Child labor has been a major issue in the Gambia. Way before COVID-19, we see children, child beggars in the street begging or escorting an adult to beg. A mass number of children are also engaged into selling along the market sides, roadsides, or garages. These children are most cases, dropouts.
Promoting the voice and potential of children set the tone for this year's inter-school competition, which gathered students from 10 schools in the KM, URR, West Coast region and CRR to compete in drama, poetry and drawing.
Overcoming poverty is not a task of charity. It is an act of justice like slavery and appetite. Poverty is not natural, it is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings.
The winning schools were awarded trophies, certificates issued to participate in schools, and journalists for their dedication to reporting on children affairs. Momodu Lamin Choi, QTV News.
From that story by Momodu Lamin Choi, now let's take a look at news beyond our borders. Now, December 20th is marked as International Human Solidarity Day, commemorated to honor unity in diversity and values universal solidarity from member states of the United Nations. Yaya Jawa reports.
Declared by the UN General Assembly as one of the most crucial pillars of human relationship, International Human Solidarity Day aims to promote solidarity in a bid to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, including poverty eradication. It also attempts to boost economic, social and cultural solidarity of people around the globe. Thus, the theme is centered around promoting cultural equality and social justice that is directed towards human and social development, especially for developing countries. The commemoration also creates a platform for world leaders and governments to devise new mechanisms to address global challenges and maintain world peace, while also reminding them to honor their international commitments and agreements capable of getting rid of inequality and enhance human solidarity and tolerance through discussions and debates. The International Expert on Human Rights and International Solidarity, created in 2005 by the United Nations Commission on Human Rights, is mandated to promote human rights and international solidarity around the world. It contributes to global dialogue around international cooperations and international solidarity. The independent expert, through the current mandate holder, Professor Obiora Okafo, has conducted several country visits to explore ways in which international solidarity and human rights manifest themselves in state practice, and to seek the views and contributions of governments, United Nations agencies, and other relevant international organizations. He foresees the United Nations Global Solidarity Movement for Gender Equality and has marked the day with messages on gender equality. The UN is working to develop and uphold standards and create an environment in which every woman and girl can exercise her human rights and live up to her full potentials through advocacy programs and other decision-making processes geared toward maintaining their needs worldwide. International Human Solidarity Day was established under the UN Millennium Declaration that defines the civil and political rights of an individual in modern times by establishing foreign relations between the member states and the UN. It was introduced by the General Assembly during the 2005 World Summit and formally established on December 22, 2005 through a resolution recognizing solidarity as a fundamental and universal value. Reporting for QTV News, I am Yahya Jao.
From that story by Yahya Jao, now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. FIFA's Arab Cup final has ended with two North African teams contesting the final in Qatar. Despite being without many of their foreign-based stars reigning from African champions, Algeria triumphed over neighbors Tunisia to claim another crown for their trophy cabinet. More in this report.
The FIFA Arab Cup reached a fitting climax with an exciting final which saw Algeria emerge winners of this prestigious tournament. 16 Arabic-speaking nations started the competition, and as we reached the semi-final stage, 3 North African nations, Algeria, Egypt and Tunisia, made it to the final 4, with hosts Qatar completing the quartet. The spectators in the packed stadium were kept on the edge of their seats as the two teams struggled for supremacy. For the two coaches, there was no time to take their seats as they prowled the edge of the technical area trying to pass orders to their team, hoping to inspire a breakthrough. When the breakthrough did arrive, it was from a most unlikely source. At the age of 31, Algeria's Amir Sayoud had only played 4 times for his country before getting picked for this tournament. Having played in his team's opening game, he was on the bench for the next 4 matches against Lebanon, Egypt, Morocco and Qatar as they made their way to the final. After coming on in the 66th minute of the final, he missed 2 glorious chances to open the scoring. After ending goalless after 90 minutes, it was something of a surprise when 9 minutes into the first period of extra time, Sayoud took aim from 30 meters to curl in an unstoppable shot past the Tunisian keeper. Commentators love the phrase, a goal fit to grace any final. Well, this was one such goal. With such a sublime finish, Sayoud must hope to have played his way into his country's AFCON and World Cup squads. Tunisia pressed in vain for an equalizer, and as the seconds ticked away, they sent their goalkeeper up when they won a corner. After they failed to score from that corner, the ball was cleared. Yassine Brahimi, for many years a regular in the Algerian team, was able to race the length of the field and smash the ball into an empty net to put a seal on their victory. It was somehow fitting that the last piece of action should fall to Brahimi. He has had a brilliant career at home and abroad and has been a regular in the Algerian side for well over a decade. To cap it all, he was voted the player of the tournament, and Algeria's goalkeeper and captain was voted the tournament's best goalkeeper. Tunisia's Belaini, who scored the goal of the tournament, collected the silver ball for the second best player, and Qatar's inspirational midfield maestro Akram Afif picked up the bronze ball for the third place, and with his teammates collected the bronze medal and the trophy for a third place finish after they defeated Egypt in the third and fourth place playoff. Having won the African crown in 2019 and now the inaugural FIFA Arab Cup, Algeria turned their attention to World Cup qualification after missing out on Russia 2018. If they succeed, they will be back in Qatar. And next month, they set out defending their continental crown when the AFCON tournament gets underway in Cameroon. For QTV News, I am Ade Darami.
Still on sports, here is a reminder of an important date for your sporting calendar. Ade Darami again.
This is a gentle reminder to make a note in your calendars. Today, December 20, marks exactly 20 days before AFCON 21 kicks off in Cameroon. The start date is January the 9th and the end date is February 6th. And of course, Gambia Scorpions will be there. So, pencil in those dates and don't say we didn't tell you.
Looking forward to AFCON. I'm afraid that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Join us at 10 for another bulletin. Bye for now and do have a great week ahead. That is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching and have a great week ahead.